welcome to this edition of Oxford Empowered. I'm Brenda Pearce, the Empowered Nurse, here to triage body, mind, and spirit with our amazing guests and stories of overcoming many life obstacles and helping people to live their fullest life expression. Today's guest is no less spectacular, and her name is Alison Heath, who is the longevity rescuer. And she's known to many through her internet series and online productions. And one of such is the...
It's your Vibrant Health Secrets, Brenda.
Yes.
And I've also done one called the EMF Summit.
Mm-hmm.
So it's also looking at the same thing. Everything, body, mind, spirit, everything that can help us have a full life of longevity.
Absolutely excellent. And it's true. We can make little changes in our life that can change our life forever, right?
Absolutely. And once we start on that path, it's really interesting the way it works, because you start making a little change and you want to do more, and you want to do more. And let's face it, us baby boomers, we're going kicking and screaming into old age, okay? We don't mind aging because, frankly, that's the only option. But we want to do it in a beautiful way. We want to have all our faculties. We want to age gracefully. We want to have it all, and we can.
Yeah.
This is what I've been discovering over the years. So it's 25 plus years that I've been working as an integrative health coach, helping people to be able to expand. And, you know, people think, oh gosh, I've got to give up everything.
Yeah.
I have to give up all the things I love. I don't want to do that. And yet it's not true. They can start adding something in, and when they do that, the other things start falling away. So it's really interesting, because all these years of integrative health coaching, we've been looking at your mindset, how your thoughts affect your health.
Yes.
We've been looking at your diet, what you put in your body, and how that fuels you and changes your life. We also focus a lot on exercise and interval training and things that are going to really change your health on a cellular level through exercise. But the weird thing is that when we start doing all that kind of talking and working with people and transforming and shifting, everybody feels, oh, my diet is the best in the world. Unless they're eating like total junk food, they're not getting it. They're thinking, everything I'm doing is the right thing. I've got it all under control. I'm eating grandma's recipe for whatever, and yet they don't understand that grandma's food was real food.
Right.
If we wanted to get the same nutritional value in spinach today, we would have to have 40 bowls of spinach to get what was one bowl of spinach in the 1940s.
It's incredible.
Yes, so we've depleted our soil, and we've only added a couple of nutrients back in. So it's kind of like when you're looking at lifestyle changes, it's sort of like religion or politics.
Right.
It's a very delicate topic to start working on. And as far as people are concerned, it's unless they've hit rock bottom, unless they've had a health crisis that is really causing them to have to change things around in a big way, then they're not ready to make a change. And again, it's that psychology of thinking that you have to give up, instead of realizing that when you add really good things in, the bad stuff starts to fall away.
Right, right.
So that's a big difference. But the piece that was always missing, that I never had, was the wealth piece. And I didn't have really an easy entry. People would look at me and they'd say, how do you do it? How do you have so much energy? How are you, at your age, keeping vital? And right now, I'm 59 years of age, so just about to hit the big 6-0.
Wow.
And yet I feel like I'm 16. I feel like a kid. And so that kind of thing was, you know, creating an opening for people to become interested. But in truth, recently, I realized that even though, for example, one case, one gal, she was working with me in systems and technology for a financial institution. And she kind of reached her ceiling. She'd gone as far as she could go. She was tired. She was getting a cold sore in her mouth every month. She was getting a cold every month.
Wow.
she would sort of go into meetings and feel like she was in a daze, like in a fog. And when she started with superfoods, and it was again by demand, what are you doing? I want what you've got. And so she trusted me enough to, you know, start doing this and going through a little bit of cleansing process, a little bit of detoxification.
Right.
And today she's earning $150,000 more annually.
Annually, wow. That changes everything, doesn't it?
Yeah. When you start giving your body what it needs, it can start to change. But that's a sort of a byproduct. It's not a given. So recently I had a life-changing event myself. My soulmate and I, we were about to retire. He had just proposed marriage. We were going to, you know, purchase a house in Cuba and have a wonderful life, that doing whatever we wanted to do. Well, it's just as if the magic carpet got yanked out from underneath me instantaneously. He died. He had a massive cardiac arrest. They were able to keep him alive for 5 days in order to harvest his organs. He never drank or smoked, so he was in really good shape. And that made a big difference in itself for him to be able to really donate and give life, continue the process. So that was really profound, but the changes in my life were huge. And he had been a stock expert and had advised me with a lot of stocks. Well, I had financial institution stocks, I had physical gold. All of these things we put into an aggressive portfolio. And I watched them go poof, 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 poof.
Yes.
And you interview a lot of people about breast cancer. You're doing the breast show and so on. So the breast show in town, which you've taken now, you've done it in London, you're taking it in Windsor, you're going to be taking it all over. And people need to be aware of so many different things that can happen in terms of their health. With cancer can disrupt your life. It doesn't matter if it's breast cancer, it can be any type of cancer. And so when you're having a situation where it could be a loss of a loved one, like I had, it could be your health changes and you're no longer able to do the work that you were doing. There's so many different factors that are impacting us in this day and age, and there's so much tension that people are feeling. There's so much overwhelm. People are working so hard. Sometimes, you know, my friends in Hawaii, when I go and stay in Hawaii, the majority of people have to work 2 or 3 jobs in order to live there.
Wow, and that's called paradise.
That's called paradise. And yet, you know, we're having to slave away and sacrifice our health. In terms of technology, as I said, I did a summit on electromagnetic fields. People don't realize a lot of women put their camera or their phone in their bra and hold it there, not realizing that on YouTube, for example, you can see so many different cancers, breast cancers, that when you connect the dots of the tumors, they draw the shape of your cell phone. And people aren't aware of that. We love our Wi-Fi, so we have it everywhere. But what I realized is that I've been helping people become healthy and have a long, long life. But what happens when your life extends further than your money?
It's like more month than money, but what about more life than money? We can get from month to month, you know, we can patch things through, but when you are getting to the ages and stages where something can disrupt your life, it really is a game changer, isn't it?
Absolutely. And, you know, we see a lot of people without a plan B, because one of the things about baby boomers and so on is we went through the 60s. We went through the times, you know, where it was just totally, we were invincible, as all young people are. Feeling that invincibility, and we don't necessarily plan for the future. So there are a lot of people that can't afford to retire, and there are a lot of young people that have gone through their education. They have a burden on their shoulders that's huge of this student loan, and yet at the same time they can't get a job because the baby boomers, they can't afford to retire. So it makes this situation that's really intensely difficult for them, and credit card debt will be forgiven. Mortgage debt will be forgiven if you go bankrupt, but your student loan is going to go with you to the grave. So these kids, they don't have much opportunity. And really, when I was looking at things, I received 1,800 letters of condolence from the people that are listening to the summits that I do and so on. I sent out an email, the saddest email I've ever written. And I just said, I'm taking some time off. I'm taking some time for myself. Yeah. And one of the things I teach people is to nurture themselves, because the majority of people are so busy doing for others, and they don't realize that if they don't take the time to nurture themselves and fulfill themselves, they are giving from a place of depletion, right, rather than giving from a place of fulfillment where you're overflowing. And you can just keep giving and giving and giving because you're replenishing your supply of energy. Right. But if you fail to do that, it creates a real depletion, and that's where burnout happens. And that's where people reach a certain stage in their life and they just want to burn their bridges. They want to make a drastic change. They feel like they've missed something. So surprisingly enough, after going through that experience where I had all these letters coming to me, I felt like Robin Williams. I felt all these people know a public me, but they don't know the real me. They don't know really who I am as a person. And I thought, I need to do something that connects and really creates bonds with people. Right. And I need to do something that's going to be something that people can really relate to. That's not going to be like treading on sacred territory. It's not going to be like talking about their religion or their politics. Right. And so I thought, okay, what is it going to be? And it's funny because I started a little program just as a joke, an online program. And it was called Easy Natural Facelift. And it was so popular. And I had these little videos. I have these little videos on YouTube with facial exercises and young skin diet and cosmetic chemicals to avoid and these types of things. And so homemade, edible personal care products. Right. And the videos, you know, they'd have like 500,000 views and stuff. And I'm going like, oh. This is something people really like. And that's the fun of it. So when somebody came to me, and I think they talked to me about a dozen times, and I just shut them down. I totally didn't want to know about anything. And then, you know, it had reached the point where, as I said, my financial world crumbled. Right, and that's where we're going to stop right now. This segment is almost done, and we want to have you stay tuned for the second half of this, because there's going to be some amazing information for you as to how Alison repaired her crumbled world. Stay tuned and come back right after this break to Oxford Empowered. And I'm here with my very, very special and empowering guest today, Alison Heath. And she is known as the Longevity Rescuer and has produced some amazing online seminars and events that have really helped people all around the world to really reach into being empowered to live their fullest and happiest, longest and most vibrant life. And as such, we're back here with Alison. Welcome back. And we were ending the last segment with the very crucial point. What happened next? Well, you know, when your life crumbles, when your finances crumble, and you're 59 years of age, so you've gone through something very dramatic. In my case, it was the loss of a loved one, but also impacted with electromagnetic hypersensitivity, which meant that I couldn't do all of the work that I'd been doing before. I had to really change my life, and your life narrows. If you have a vicious dog, and you can't have the neighbors come over with their baby, or you have to watch everybody that comes over, your life becomes narrower and narrower and narrower. If you are sensitive to electromagnetic radiation, it doesn't matter what it is, whether it's Wi-Fi, whether it's your cell phone, whether it's your smart meter, whatever, we have so many different wireless devices now, whatever's impacting you, it makes your life narrower and narrower. Now, I've been one of the very lucky ones because I discovered very early on what was happening, and I was able to turn it around by buying specialized equipment that cost an arm and a leg, by moving to a shielded environment, by doing everything I could humanly possibly think of to help myself and change the condition. Grounding, gardening, in barefoot, swimming a couple of kilometers in the lake, interviewing people for the EMF Summit to find out everything I could about it. So here my life had crumbled. I had what's called a functional disability in Sweden and Norway, where they recognize it. And I needed to change my financial situation, and I needed affiliation with people where I could really bond with people. And that's where the fun came in.
Oh, good.
So I was introduced to a skin technology. And I thought, well, okay, you know, people loved the Easy Natural facelift. They love the facial exercises. Baby boomers are going kicking and screaming into old age. And surprisingly enough, the men are the largest growing factor for wanting anti-aging. And they don't want to go to a countertop and get some kind of a special cream or something, you know, and pick up some cream for anti-aging. They feel embarrassed. So we've got these here today so we can actually experiment. We can have fun with this and look at the individual products. But it's so much more than marketing products, because now I've got that wealth piece. Now I have the piece that was missing before. So because of doing your Vibrant Health Secrets and so on, so many years, like I interviewed Eric Pearl, who you interviewed, and so many people that guests that you've had and so on have been guests on my summits. And Gary Douglas from Access Consciousness and, you know, the release technique and all of these different modalities of energy work and so on. So I look at this like 3 donuts. And the first donut is like self-development. Because it's all about, this is a different thing than the systems and technology work in the banks and so on, or any of the software companies I developed and so on. It's not dog eat dog, and it's not working on adrenaline and backstabbing. It's a very different experience. It's an experience of empowerment, of collaboration, of creating multiple streams of income, leveraged income. So it's when we're talking about leveraged income, it's like somebody does a movie and they get paid residuals for the movie. Somebody writes a book, they get paid residuals for the book. So it's leveraged income is like Rockefeller said, I would rather have a people's work than 100% of my own. So the joy of having the ability to help people look younger, feel better, if they've gone through something that has created a lot of scarring, like perhaps breast cancer, they have the ability to have these scars diminish. And, you know, with all of the exposure that we have to electromagnetic radiation, Dr. Magda Havas calls it rapid aging syndrome. So our organs are aging rapidly on the inside.
It's almost like getting cooked by these electromagnetic frequencies.
That's exactly what's happening.
Right.
And so, you know, if you have an opera singer singing at a certain note, a glass will shatter in the room. It's because it's the same frequency. Well, every organ in your body has a frequency. And when you have these 4G or 5G coming at you, it affects the frequency. Sometimes it matches the frequency of these organs. And they use electromagnetic weaponry to cause heart attacks, to cause liver cancer, to cause cataracts, to cause breast cancer, because they know the frequency of the actual organs and they can match it, and so on. So when we can start changing our own frequency in our body through our mind, through our thoughts, through feeling better about ourselves. Well, remember I was telling you that when you're talking about food, you're talking about exercise, and you're talking about mindset, for people a lot of times it's like, I've got it all together already. You know what I mean? It's like that sacred territory. Don't touch my food. You know? So when you're talking about somebody that has a terrible rash that they can't get rid of, or they have a disfiguring birthmark, or maybe they have acne and acne scarring, or something going on that's very uncomfortable, or they're just aging.
Or burns. Burns is a big thing, right?
Yep. Burns are another one.
Yeah.
And so all of these types of things, if you can give them a solution if you can offer them a solution that's actually going to be the body repairing itself, how much fun is that? And these two little guys here, this is the technology. It's a medical company that designed this technology here with grants. So it was a National Health Institute invested between $7 and $9 million to create this technology.
That's a lot.
And originally it was developed as a drug delivery system for people that had burns, bedbound people.
Right.
That would have bed sores, and you know that because your father-in-law recently had bed sores before he died.
Yes.
It doesn't take long for them to form, and they can be very deep, and they can be terminal.
Yes.
So people with skin cancer, and this you roll on. It actually rolls on like a deodorant. And so it's just this roll-on ball that doesn't have Teflon in it. Acetone is what physicians use when they operate because it flash evaporates, it cleans the bacteria, and as it's flash evaporating, it's creating little microscopic holes. Now, I don't know if the camera can pan in on this, but this is like a second skin.
Look at that.
I put some on my hand earlier so that I could show you how it peels off. And you have this second skin. Feel the skin below, how soft it is.
Just as soft as butter.
Yeah. And the active ingredient in this particular one, there's only 2 active ingredients, vitamin E and grapeseed oil. And it was discovered accidentally because originally it had an antibiotic in it and it was for medical use.
Right.
When Phyllis Siegel, the woman that created it, she broke her wrist, and much to her surprise, she went to the doctor. He said, you can put vitamin E on it, but you really can't get rid of those keloid scars that she was left with. She called it her Frankenstein scar. So she rolled it on, and she went to her lab, and she said, remove the antibiotic, put in vitamin E and grapeseed oil. So she did. She rolled it on, and in 6 weeks it was gone.
Wow, amazing. And you think about how many different keloid scars are left after surgical interventions or treatments.
Or any scarring,
Exactly.
for that matter. And so she went for lunch after her doctor's appointment, and her girlfriend said, show me your wrist. I haven't seen it since your operation. So she held out her hand, and she said, oh my God, Phyllis, it looks like you had a facelift on your hand. Well, plastic surgery can't do that.
No.
So it was absolutely astounding. And she went, I'm onto something. It gets rid of scars. It makes my hand look younger. I think I've really got something here. So it was kind of like the way Post-it pads were discovered by accident.
Yeah, the best things usually are, aren't they?
Yeah. So she went and she took this to all of the dermatology conferences and started talking about this. Well, it was discovered, it was picked up by 3 men who wanted to pay it forward.
Oh, wow.
And they themselves were made millionaires overnight with a product called Slick 50, which was an engine additive. And so they brought the market share from 15 million to 350 million.
Right.
And as a result, the owner said, I'm giving you a bite of the apple. I'm selling you the company at half the cost. But there's a caveat. You have to find something in your life to pay it forward. And they developed a lockbox for realtors. They developed a laser scanner for construction that's used in every grocery store.
Yes.
But they hadn't paid it forward. So they started Dermacorp, the largest group of dermatology clinics in Texas. As a result, they were invited to all these conferences. They learned about this, and they went, okay, we've been helping these young doctors coming out of school. We've been giving them their brick and mortar offices, everything they need, but now why don't we do something? They put it in their clinics. People started walking in off the street asking for it.
Wow, amazing.
Yep. And now this one is their most recent introduction. And this is truly a miracle in a bottle for anti-aging. This one is helping your body. They're both stopping transepidermal water loss.
That's huge, huge in this dehydrating world under the fluorescent lights and everything that we live in.
Absolutely. And this one is amazing. It's increasing hydrogen or collagen synthesis by up to 500%.
Wow.
Maybe even more, because underneath this mask itself increases everything by 4%. And this increases the hyaluronic acid synthesis as well by 33%. It makes your skin denser. So I had a lot of very veiny hands, and now my skin is getting denser, so I don't see the veins as much anymore.
And nothing ages you faster than your neck and your hands.
Right, and this crepey neck feeling that I was having, that's going.
Wow.
So that's so much fun. This could have been a company in itself. This is IFX3, and I know that you've been using this IFX3 because I have given it to you to use. You've tried it, and you've seen wonders going on.
Amazing, amazing. It's an eye lift without any Botox or any surgical intervention. It's absolutely amazing what it's done for me. It's taken years off my appearance, and I'm just thrilled by that.
And you are so sleep deprived.
Yes.
I mean, you work incredibly. Now, when you were talking about fluorescent lighting and so on, this is my favorite, because being electromagnetically hypersensitive, this is such an absolute gem, because you just take the tiniest little amount, and men love this as an aftershave, and you just take a little drop of this. It's so luscious. Feel this. Just feel this on your hand, and put a little bit on your neck. Just rub it on. It feels so
It is. A little bit goes a long way.
Yeah, a little bit goes a long way, and these are all water-based. So makeup artists are loving this. And this one they call the Whiten, Tighten, and Brighten, because it's just adding peptides.
Right.
It's adding peptides into your body, giving peptides to your skin. So instead of having a derma abrasion or something that is harming your skin, and your skin's going, oh my God, we're injured, we need to make collagen, this is feeding your skin. So your skin goes, oh, I'm 16 again, you know.
Turning back the hands of time is so important, isn't it?
Absolutely, and why not?
Yeah.
I mean, we're all going to age,
Yeah.
and as I said, it's the only option,
Yeah.
so why not? But when you can have a little bit of this cream, and you can put this on at night and in the morning, and rub it in, and know that you're feeding your skin peptides, what a feeling.
Yes.
You know, it's absolutely incredible.
And we look forward to helping you to create your own beautiful future. Bye for now.